providing additional resources to your yoga students can help them feel more successful. So today I want to share 3 ways that you can create a visual sequence for your yoga students, your classes, for yourself, for your workshops, or for whatever reason you want to create a visual sequence to recap your yoga class. My name is Ashley, and I teach simple sequencing methods and confidence building strategies to new yoga teachers to help you get out there and actually teach, because the more yoga teachers that are out there, the better. Now let's talk about those 3 ways that you can create a printable or downloadable for your yoga students. Number 1 is both the easiest and the most challenging, and that's to draw your own stick figures. So you can draw out your class on a white piece of paper, take a picture of it or scan it, and then send it to your students. Now this is a little bit more challenging, especially for those of you who aren't really into drawing, but having a good resource sheet or reference is a good idea. So you can actually, this is mine, this is what I made. These are my stick figures. If you want to download this, it's with my alignment guide. You can do that at ashesyoga.com/alignment. These are the last 2 pages, and they just give you some ideas for some stick figure yoga. Now, these are not all of the poses, and you might have your own shorthand methods, but you can just simply Google search stick figures for yoga or yoga stick figures, and a lot comes up. I even think there's a course out there for this. So you can draw them yourself. This isn't as professional, but it works. So this is a simple way to get your ideas, your sequence on paper, and send it out. Like I said, for some it might be easier and quicker to do, for some not so much. If we want to get a little bit more professional, let's move on to the second 2 options. The second option I want to talk about is Pocket Yoga Teacher. It's pocketyoga.com, but it's an app for Mac computers and iPhones. So it's only an iOS app. It's not Pocket Yoga Student, it's the Pocket Yoga Teacher app. And I want to share with you a little bit of behind the scenes, but it looks a little bit better than the stick figures at least. And there's a lot more that you can do with this. This was a quick printable. My printer's not that good. But it allows you to see a sequence, and it can be multiple pages. You can send it as a PDF. So let me show you a little quick demo right now over on the computer app. The Pocket Yoga website is also really helpful. You can head on over to pocketyoga.com and you can learn a little bit more about the poses themselves. This is a great resource for yoga teacher trainees and new yoga teachers looking to gain a little more experience with the poses. So if you click on the poses, you'll see a long list of them and different categories you can look at. One way I really like using this is to look for a peak pose that I might want in my class. So if I go to, let's say, pick this one-legged crow pose, we're going to do that in our class. When I click on it, it'll give a description, the benefits, the Sanskrit name, and some other information about the pose. It also gives you previous poses and next poses. So I can click on then the previous pose, crow pose, and that might dictate what the sequence would be getting into one-legged crow pose. And previous to that might have been a squat. So I want to look at that, and I can sort of get a visual understanding of what comes before and after poses and some descriptions and benefits. So I like the website itself for the poses. You can check out the community, check out support, check out the apps for sure. If you have a Mac computer, get the Pocket Yoga Teacher app. The regular Pocket Yoga app is for students only, or it's not one that you can build PDFs and send out files and print your sequences on. But Pocket Yoga Teacher is $4.99, and it's definitely worth it. It's very simple, but can help you create a nice visual in a very quick and efficient way. So let's head on over to Pocket Yoga Teacher, the app itself. So this is Pocket Yoga Teacher. As you can tell, very clean looking, very much as you would find on a Mac computer. This is also available on an iPhone. It gives you suggested and all poses and some different controls. You can play around with some of these. I'm just going to click to create a pretend sequence. One thing to note though, if you are searching for specific poses, they're only the English names. So let's say you're looking for an easy seated pose. If you type in easy, it might come up. If you type in seated, it won't. So it's easy sit. So it's a specific title that they have. They also don't have anything in Sanskrit, so you won't find any Sanskrit poses. Even if you're looking for something like bird of paradise, just type in bird or the first few letters Like if you're looking for down dog, you might type in dog, because down dog is not in there, but it's downward facing dog. So down dog is not going to show up. So it's just something to note on that. And once you have your sequence, once you've played with it a bit, you can even loop things, add music, breath duration a little bit longer. Looping would be a couple poses you do on repeat. And then to get out of the loop, you just click away from it so you can continue going. To share this with people, you can go to this export button, mail it, messages, or airdrop, or you can head on over to the file button and hit save as or export to PDF. I would typically export it to a PDF. That's something that I know for sure people are going to be able to see. Sequence, however you want to name it, would be fine. You would export the PDF. You can also print this with this print button up here, or go to file, print, and you can see a little preview of what this might look like. So this here has 3 rows and it's a horizontal landscape page. And this is how it would print. So if your sequence is longer than that, it might be multiple pages. That's what it's going to look like. Again, very clean, very simple, and an easy way to get a PDF or a visual sequence to your yoga students. The third option I want to mention for creating a visual sequenced PDF for your students or your class is a web-based app or web-based software called Tummee.com, Tummee.com. Kind of looks like this, but I'll show you a behind the scenes. This one is available to everyone. I don't know that they have a phone app, but the computer Tummee.com has so many options and there's so much available to create sequences. Not only can you create your own, but you can also search for what everyone else has created or for a sequence that you want to copy or adjust for yourself. You can save your sequences, you can print them, you can email them. This is a subscription, so there is a free trial first, of course. Most web-based platforms that keep you wanting more have a free trial. And then there's a monthly fee or an annual fee that you can pay. Tummee.com has a lot more options, and if you don't see one of the poses in the database, you can always request that they make one. There's also a lot more diversity with the little stick figure person, so let's dive into the back end of Tummee and check that out. I just went to Tummee.com and signed up for their 15-day trial using my yoga studio email address. They do offer a yearly or a monthly subscription after the 15 days, but use the 15 days and see if it's something that you want to continue. So they do a really good job of leading you through the process with some video tutorials and some slideshows to get you to understand how to use this website. So go through that process. Definitely don't skip any of that. But once you're through it, you can create your own sequences. You can save your sequences. You can look at other teacher sequences or even some of Tummee's sequences. So the builder is very simple. You would title your class, your sequence type, and you can drag and drop your sequences, your poses. This has way more options, and you can search in both Sanskrit and in English terms. And there's chair yoga poses, there's let's just go downward facing dog, see what comes up. You could add them, and then it gives you even options to do more. So let's just pretend we're doing all of these things. You can drag and drop poses based on what you want to do. It's pretty smart at giving you some suggested. You can save and continue, export it, create a PDF, all of that. We're going to actually just go back. So you can play around with that. You can look at your sequences you've created. You can look at teacher sequences. So someone else created a sequence. So if you click on the one that someone else created, you can see the sequence as well as add it to your own sequences, create a PDF, create a printable. Another thing I like about this is that they group some poses together. So sun salutation A and sun salutation B and half salutation, and a few others. You don't have to write them all out. And there's also poses with blocks, chairs, and different sorts of props you can add to your sequence. So if you teach chair yoga, this is a great place to build a sequence. If you teach with props, this is also a great place to build a sequence. They're constantly adding on, and if there isn't a pose that you need, they will probably make it for you. So definitely go and explore Tummee.com. Try out their 15-day free trial to check out all the sequences and see if it works for you. You may find that this takes up a lot of time for you, or it might be something that's very user-friendly. It just depends on what you're looking for. Another thing that's really unique about this is it gives you different sequences, such as a peak pose sequence. So not a full class, but a sequence that leads up to a peak pose. So if your peak pose is wide leg splits, you would want to do these other poses. If your peak pose is this back bend pose, you would want to add these others. So it gives you some really great ideas, not for a full class, but for some smaller peak poses. Now that I've gone through 3 ways that you can create a visual yoga sequence PDF, I'd love to hear in a comment which method you would prefer. Do you do stick figures? Have you used tummy.com? Or have you used Pocket Yoga? And if you have another method or another app or something, please leave a comment and let me know, because I'm always looking for more tips and tricks to help yoga teachers with their yoga sequences. For more yoga sequencing tips and advice, head on over to my Facebook group, Yoga Sequencing and Teaching Tips. Over there we have a large community of like-minded yoga teachers and yoga students, always looking for transitions, sequences, technology, and all the things that create a confident yoga teacher and confident yoga student. You can learn more about me and all of the things I offer over at ashesyoga.com. Check out some of my yoga sequencing methods in these videos right here, and don't forget to grab your free guides and resources down linked below. I've got a sequencing guide and my stick figures and alignment guide. So I'll link everything in the description below.